Hello, hello, and welcome to your next installment of the Chief of Staff Chronicles. I'm Anne Marie, the Chief of Staff Architect, and I wanted to remind folks that I am going to be heading out to London next week and will be hosting a workshop and networking dinner on Friday the 19th. And I'm so excited to come out there. And so, what I wanted to do for the next few minutes is just to give you a sneak peek of one of the things I'm going to be sharing with folks out there. There's a lot of talk about using AI. How do you use AI? Is AI replacing this role and that role? I don't want to talk about all of those. I actually want to talk about one aspect there. I want to talk about how I use AI, however, how I'm using it um, for my own edification when I'm trying to learn or understand something. And so I wanted to share with you an exercise that I'm going to be sharing with folks, and you can do this on your own. But I thought it'd be fun for me to do this with you live so you can see one of the things that we'll be doing at the workshop. We've got plenty of exercises. There's going to be discussion about being strategic operators, chief of staff. There's going to be discussions about how you can use AI to better optimize what you're doing for your job hunt. And then, like I said, for me, one of the ways that I love to use AI is if I'm learning something, and AI can be, I call AI my interim teacher because AI does get things wrong. And I love to fact check AI with experts in this space. And so, what I'm going to do right now is I am going to share my screen, and hopefully, you can all see my screen. And what I want to do, let's see, it looks like it's showing only one aspect of my screen. I'm going to share two aspects of my screen for you. The first one is we are going to review a report, and then I'm going to give you the information behind how we can actually review that report. So let me go ahead and pull that out for you. Um, I I love using AI as a teacher, we'll say, theoretically as a teacher sometimes, because it is pretty clever. All right, let's go to um, my slides, and we're going to go ahead and share this screen. All right, hopefully, actually, let me make it a little bit better so you can read what we're going to be doing. There we go. That's a little bit better so you can see exactly what we're going to be doing. What I'm going to do is, first of all, I want to go ahead and review an investor report. Now, this is something that for me personally tends to be very challenging. And so I want to be able to understand these reports. I want to be able to understand what I'm looking at. And right now, several companies have just reported their earnings. And so if you want to get a handle on what those earnings are, let's use AI to review those investor reports. So I'm going to stop the screen for just a moment, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to uh, my web browser, because that's where we're going to do some of the work. And so it's going to share the screen. There we go. And we will do this so you can see the screen. So now what I've done is I just went to Microsoft.com. That was the latest organization that I worked for. And I want to be able to utilize information from that investor report. It's public, so we're not sharing anything that's proprietary or confidential. Anybody can access this. What we'll do is scroll all the way down to the company news and go to investors. It's going to show you, oh, here are Microsoft earnings. Because I'm using Chrome, they've got Gemini embedded in Chrome. We're going to go ahead and start with Gemini that's in Chrome. So now a couple of pretty easy prompts. Like I said, this is strictly for education. I'm going to ask it to summarize this report, give me a couple of key highlights and lowlights. And I like the fact that as you guys are using AI, it always gives you a couple of questions that you can ask, but I want to ask it my own questions. There are things that I want to learn. Again, using AI as a teacher It's going to go through, it's going to review the report, it's going to give you what it thinks is the good summary and the highlights and the lowlights. I have financial people that are in my space, and so I utilize them to fact check and make sure that I'm reading the information correctly. So it's going through, Microsoft delivered a strong third quarter result. Here are the things that worked really well. Here are some things that people need to be aware of, and then a couple of signals for leadership. As a chief of staff, as I'm learning the financial space, and if I don't have a controller, I can use this to help prompt ideas or thoughts in my head. So it's giving me a couple of things that I may want to consider. So this is what I would take back to if I'm working with a finance person and saying, I did a quick AI review of this report. I'm going to try to read it on my own, but this is what I'm getting. What are your thoughts with what it's saying for the signals? Uh, Super helpful. Now, let's say that I really don't get finances at all. And this is one of my favorite prompts. Whenever I'm teaching folks about AI, I have so much fun with this. And so what I've posted in there, it says, explain this to me like I was a 10-year-old. Now, what 10-year-old is going to be reading a Microsoft financial earnings report? I don't know. There's some pretty intelligent kids out there. So I wouldn't put past some of them. But let's say I just really wanted to understand it from a very, very basic level. It's going to break it down in terms and in the language that I can understand if I was 10 years old. The good stuff, AI boom. The not so good stuff. I love this. Two big lessons for the bosses, leadership signals. AI is growing up from helper to a doer. All right. What does it mean? Why do they care? Win the hearts of the tech wizards. It's giving you the information in a contextual way that you can get it. One of the things that I teach folks is not necessarily here are all of the greatest prompts that you can use, although we all have our favorite prompts that we can share. But I teach you about prompt engineering. What is a prompt framework? What does that look like? And once you understand the framework, you can build any prompt for anything that you're looking for. So now we did a pretty simple prompt for this investor report. I want to do something a little bit more complex. And so what I'm pulling right now, and I'll read this to you also so you've got it, but I'm telling AI now, review the latest report, read it, and brief it to me in 3 different ways. If you're new to earnings, if you're familiar with earnings, or if you are a finance pro, and then create it in 3 sections side by side, and then end with one question I ask my executive before the next meeting. So we're going to go ahead and have it. Let's see if it does this well, because last time it was kind of messy for me when it was doing it, but hopefully it gets it well. But now it's reading the report. It's analyzing the structure of my prompt because I've been very, very specific. And again, this is the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about in the workshop on Friday. When you're building a prompt, how to build a prompt. It said something went wrong. That's fine. We're going to try it. We'll go and start a new chat. We're going to post our prompt again, and then we're going to see if it gets it for us correctly. But what I was saying is, once you understand the way that you build a prompt and the specificity behind the prompt, the nuance behind it, you can start to get information outside of these one-sentence prompts that all of us are very familiar with. It's literally broken it down for me in 3 different lenses, like I asked it. What happened, movers, sentiment, and then with one question that I should ask my exec. This is one way that I utilize AI for like I said, for my own edification and learning. If there's something out there, you can use this for any type of document briefing. You can use AI if you have large chunks of data that you need to parse through and summarize. AI is a tool, like a hammer. And if you use the tool well, it's going to yield a result that will get you to the output that you're looking for. I don't use AI as my chief of staff because it's not a chief of staff. I use AI as a tool that helps me and is an augmentation to the work that I need to do. And I want to show you how to do that. I've put in the comments the link to the London workshop. Feel free to register. Like I said, this is coming up on Friday. We're going to have a day full of learning and a networking mixer. Following London, my next stop is in Toronto, Canada. So be on the lookout for that information because I'm excited to visit the amazing people who are in the beautiful country of Canada and discuss with them some of the things again that they're most curious about. So, like I said, take a moment, register for the workshop, go ahead and do the exercise on your own. You can play around so much. There are things that are hidden nuggets like skills, connectors. You want to know what those are? Do the search right now. You can figure it out. Come to the workshop and let's explore how you can further integrate this in the work that you're doing on a regular basis. I am loving being able to utilize AI in the way that I do. And again, it's not that I'm using it to replace my thinking, it's an augmentation to the things that I'm trying to do. I'm looking forward to being in London. I'm looking forward to working with those of you that have registered so far. We still have seats available. So those of you who think it's too late, it's not too late. Feel free to register and DM me, and I will give you a special code so you can get a little bit off of the price. But again, thank you again for spending a few moments with me as I talk to you about a nuance, a sneak peek into the workshop, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there next week.